Let's talk about the new Tim Duncan cards only from Panini.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This is Emily Swallow, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs. We're here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you back. Hope everybody's had a great weekend, and the regular season is right around the corner. In just a couple of days, your Spurs will be back in action. Hey, thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. Free and available wherever you get podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, the Ken's 5 Plus app. The list goes on and on. You guys are the everydayers, and we appreciate it. So, yeah, regular season right on the corner. We'll definitely get into more of that in the next day or two. But today we're going to have a special guest here. In just a few minutes, we're going to bring in Jason Howarth. He is with Panini. Yes, in case you did not hear, Tim Duncan is back in the trading card business, everybody. Yes, after nearly 2 decades, Timmy is back, and he signed an exclusive deal with Panini. And there'll be autographs. Yes, autograph cards. They are coming soon. So what we did, we reached out to Panini and asked them, well, would anybody want to come on to talk about the new cards? Now, just a fair warning, it was audio only. That's the only option we had. But nevertheless, it's very informative. You're going to find out a lot about the Tim Duncan cards that are coming up soon. I know a lot of fans were excited when the news dropped that there are going to be new Panini autographed Tim Duncan cards. Yeah, crazy. But trading cards has been a boom of late. You know, during the pandemic, that's when it really started to take off again. It got revived. And now you're seeing it almost become like a commodity now. If you own, a Tim Duncan card, or you own a Kobe card or whatnot. Victor Wembanyama is also in the card business too. Dirk Nowitzki, he's back with Panini. They took a little while for him to come back, but he's back. Luka Doncic, big names are coming on and getting into the trading card industry. In just a few minutes, you're going to listen to what Jason has to say about wooing Tim Duncan back. One thing you're going to hear, though, is about legacy. Legacy is a big thing with these athletes, and that was not different for Tim Duncan. You're going to see how that factored in. But, yeah, cards are exploding. They have been for quite some time now. Whether it be NBA cards, comic cards, anything you want is becoming like an asset now. Something you add in your portfolio. And I'm pretty sure Tim Duncan's cards, once they get released, will reach that level as well. Everybody loves the thrill of the hunt. Everybody loves opening those boxes, box breaks, the card packs. You pull it. We had a fan on a fan guest episode one time. Eric Hicks come on and break open a box only to find the Victor Wembanyama rookie card. And these things are so exciting. And Timmy is back. Speaking of that Wemby, the Wembanyama effect. You're seeing it not just on the court, but off the court. As mentioned, he's back in the card business. We're seeing some of his rookie cards, his Mets 92 cards go over for $10,000, $15,000 at auction. Yeah, they were practically giving one away in San Antonio. Topps was, and the one lucky fan got one of the rarest Wembanyama cards, where it literally says my first autograph. So it's a big deal, and I know a lot of Spurs fans are going to be happy, or no, they are happy that Tim Duncan is back, and they're going to look for his cards once they drop. So again, just a quick note during the recording. You're going to hear me say senior vice president. That was a little bit of a mistake there. Again, Jason Howarth, he is the senior vice president of marketing. So you can understand that clearly now. There was a little bit of a miscommunication there. But again, he's the senior vice president of marketing with Panini. And look, shout out to Panini. They reached out to me right away when the news was about to drop. They gave me a little heads up. They said, hey, check it out. Timmy's back. And I know a lot of fans were just reacting. The hobbies, they call it, just exploded. So good luck on your hunts. Good luck finding that Tim Duncan card when they drop. So, once again, we're going to be joined now by Jason Howarth of Panini. But before we do that, I want to talk about Game Time. You want to go to gametime.co right now. Look, talk about a right time to start looking out for tickets. And MLB playoffs are underway. NFL's kicked off. The NBA season is right around the corner. Your Spurs are back in action. You got to go to Game Time to get those tickets. You don't have to worry about buying tickets to the next big event, whether it's going to a Spurs game or some other event, whether it's comedy, music, theater, whatever it is. If you need a ticket, Game Time is there for you. The fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all sports, etc. And pick something you want to go to. Likely Game Time will have the ticket for it with killer last minute deals in prices. You get views from the seats. You get the best price guarantee. Game Time just takes the guesswork out of everything. Just takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Look, you get the views from the seat as mentioned. You get the lowest price guaranteed. You get event cancellation protection and even job loss protection. Game Time has your back. You can find those last minute flash deals, zone deals. I mean, you got to download the Game Time app right now. Look, it's the all-in price. That really shows you the total up front. So you know what you're getting, and that's a great deal without those hidden fees. Buy tickets in seconds in just a few taps. So simple to use. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. The place to find last-minute seats is at Game Time. They got zone deals as well. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats. That's for an average about an 18% saving right there. And Game Time guarantee means you only get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time will credit you up to 110% of the difference. Look, take the guesswork out of buying tickets right now with Game Time. Download the Game Time app right now. Create an account. Use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, so we're going to bring in our next guest again. It's Jason. So he, again, is with Panini. He's going to break it down. All what happened behind the scenes with Tim Duncan coming on board, what went on in the process, how did Tim Duncan react, what did Tim Duncan have to say? He all talks about it right now. Again, we're going to be joined by Jason Howarth of Panini, the Senior Vice President of Marketing. Hey, before I let you go, send me your thoughts on cards. And what cards do you have? What rare cards do you have? What cards are you hunting for? Is it the WNBA? Is it going to be a Tim Duncan? Let me know on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So sit back, relax, enjoy an interview with Jason Howarth of Panini. Back right here on Locked On Spurs, and we're joined by a special guest. He is Panini's Senior Vice President of Marketing. He is Jason Howarth. Jason, welcome to Locked On Spurs.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Doing good. You got the you and Panini got the fan base kind of riled up recently, huh?
We absolutely did.
In case y'all don't know, Panini just announced that they have an exclusive deal with Spurs legend Tim Duncan. He is back in the trading card world after nearly 2 decades, and there will be a series of cards coming out in the near future with his signature. We're going to get into that and more, how this came about and how you can grab your hands on some boxes and look for those Tim Duncan cards. So, Jason, let's go to start it off here. Obviously a lot of fans were surprised. I was surprised when I got the news. How did this all come about? How did this marriage between Panini and Tim Duncan come to be?
Yeah, I think we were all surprised. Tim is one of those grails in the trading card category because he hadn't signed in forever, as you mentioned, 20 years.
Yeah.
But, we're persistent. Our team is persistent. We've, continually tried to reach out to him and his team and talk about, why it's important for him to be in the trading card category, why fans want to collect him, and what that all means and the significance of it. And, we went through a similar experience not too long ago where we brought Charles Barkley back into the trading card category too. So, I think, having Tim understand how much the trading card category has changed under Panini's, view and leadership, and the total global growth of the trading card category, especially with basketball, that part was really compelling to Tim. Also, just reinforcing his legacy and being able to be in products. Lots of guys have kind of, moved on and retired. And the one way that they continue to carry on their legacy and become visible to fans, new and old, is through trading cards. So, those were the messages that we kind of shared with Tim through, this has been a multi-year process in trying to get to him. I think, at the Basketball Hall of Fame this past August, that's where I think it really kind of set the plan in motion that he was open to reconsidering and thinking about it. And, we're excited to have him in the market. Obviously, basketball trading cards this year with the rookies that are in the category has already been elevated and excited. And then you bring in a legend like Tim to add to that, makes it even more exciting.
Was there ever a moment where perhaps you thought it was not going to happen? Because you mentioned right now it took years for this to happen, but you mentioned persistency. But there had to have been a moment where you and your team were probably thinking, "Oh no, is this really going to happen?"
I think we've felt that way through the years. I think this year felt a little bit different because they were more open to the conversation, and then it was just a matter of finding a way to make it work for them and make it work for us. And everybody at Panini was fully on board with bringing Tim into the category, and recognizing how important he is to trading cards in the NBA and wanting to be able to continue that legacy of featuring him on trading cards. So that part was really important and a big part of the process, but everyone was fully on board and doing whatever we could to get Tim involved.
He is Jason Howarth, the Panini Senior Vice President of Marketing, right here on Locked On Spurs, to discuss the big news. Tim Duncan is back in the trading card world, and he's only doing it with Panini. We'll get into the details in just a few minutes. We're talking about the process, how it all came to be, and much more with Mr. Howarth. Jason, I look at the whole thing and how it came to be, how much it was a shock, a pleasant shock to the fan base, especially the trading card community. Were y'all anticipating that joy of eruption, that eruption just leaking out everywhere once the news was official that Tim Duncan was on board? Are y'all prepared for the fan demand?
We are definitely prepared for the fan demand. I think it's also, just a nice validation because we knew how important, he was to the hobby community, the people that, live and breathe trading cards every day. But as we made that announcement and it went more mainstream and people got really excited about having Tim back in the product, I think that just resonated and reinforced that we made the right decision in doing what we could to get him involved.
Were there any, for as much as you can share with us, obviously, were there any sticking points that Duncan had to have regarding the cards, its design, its look? How much input did he have?
No, there weren't many sticking points on that front. I think, just educating him and showing him, the types of cards that we'd want to bring to life for him, really kind of reinforced everything about Tim and his legacy. And I think that was really important. It's changed so much since Tim was last in the category. It's, now a global, category with fans collecting all over the world. Mm-hmm. An opportunity to, like I said, reinforce his legacy and, his involvement in the game. And there's only so many products that can really do that and bring that to life. And trading cards is by far one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for those who have not seen it, we'll definitely be flashing those images right now in this episode. The ones that have been shown definitely capture his legacy. There was even one his draft day. That was really cool. I thought that was awesome to see him holding one of the many trophies that he has, to the autograph itself. Can you talk to all what Panini went through to find and at least capture those moments? Did y'all sit with him, or did y'all, with you and your team, just sit there? We got to have him with a trophy. We got to have him in action. What kind of process was that to create the cards?
Yeah, our product development team is really good at kind of visioning, what's the best way to celebrate an athlete on a trading card. And so, with the history that Tim has in the game, 10-time All-NBA first team selection, 5 NBA championships, NBA Finals MVP 3 times. There's, just a lot of different things that you can do to kind of tell that story and, reinforce, the legacy, and involvement that he's had in the game. So, that draft pick card is super cool.
Yeah.
you can definitely tell it's dated.
Yeah.
With the suit, the way the way the dressed now with their draft night suits is a little
Yeah.
bit different. But yeah, I mean, it's just fun looking at and kind of reminiscing about, I have to full disclosure, I'm from Boston originally. So
Oh man.
yes, so how I feel about Tim Duncan. He was supposed to be our pick.
I get,
And
yeah.
we didn't get the balls didn't fall in place for us in the lottery, unfortunately, and went on to, a number of years, not doing so well because we put all our eggs in the Tim Duncan basket only to see him go to you guys in San Antonio. So that draft pick card is, I look at it now and I'm reminding myself of everything I thought of when I was younger, thinking about the hope of getting Tim playing, for the Celtics, only to never see that happen.
Yeah, I can imagine you taking maybe a card that wasn't, just like error card or something like that, and then you just drawing the Boston Celtics logo on it, and then coloring in with a green pen, and writing in the Celtics across his jersey or something like that.
Yeah, or thinking about how many more championships the Celtics would win if Tim was there on that team, or we had that coach Rick Pitino who thought that we were all going to get Tim Duncan too, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends in the Boston area and in the media as well, and even till today they have the same reaction as you're having right now, seeing Tim Duncan in a Spurs jersey, not a Celtics jersey. But nevertheless, I'm looking at the cards right now as we're speaking. Beautiful designs. What I liked about him too, Jason, is not only do you capture those moments in his career, draft day, winning the title, him holding number 4, but even capturing his signature hugging of the ball pre-game. He did that every game for his entire career. I mean, the detail that goes into these cards are magnificent. And then of course you have the silhouettes. You see the piece of the jersey there, the Spur logo, and him in the pivot, looking like he's about to go for a shot. That's what fans like. I've already spoken to some fans already, and they're drooling over them. They can't wait to get their hands on the card, hunt for those cards. Now the autograph cards as well. This is probably like some novice question here, but I personally always been curious. This may sound dumb, Jason, but how do y'all know where to put the autograph? Like, is that strategic, or do y'all let just Tim Duncan have fun and go sign wherever?
No, it's strategic. We've got better in our days. I think early on when you think about cards or look at cards and where autographs were, there wasn't really that, that faded white spot where it was like perfectly built to incorporate a signature. So it would be weird when you just get, a random signature on a card and it, doesn't match the color, the background or the card, or it, it makes an imbalance on the card, so you really can't, benefit or celebrate the autograph as much. So we've through the years honed in on how do we bring that to life to make sure that we maximize the athlete on the card and all the design elements, but still leave room to be able to celebrate the signature. So that part has been important. It's definitely a thoughtful process when it comes to that.
Yeah, you look at what Tim Duncan said in the release, that he felt that it was time to return to the industry and get back, to giving fans, meeting that fan demand, cards with his signature. So based on his statement there, it sounds like he's excited too. How excited was he in his camp after it was pen to paper, deal done, and away we go?
I think, every time you show some of the design concepts to a player, it doesn't matter whether you're a 20-year veteran and have won, 5 championships and are in the Hall of Fame, you see that moment and you kind of relive those experiences. And when you really kind of see that come to life, it just makes it all that more exciting. So, when you see the card images and you see the things that we've done and the things that we're planning to do with Tim, that part gets exciting, but at the same time, it's also like reminiscing about all the things that he's done in his career, which is cool.
Yeah. I mean, look at the lineup that you have right now. Luka Doncic, you mentioned Barkley, David Beckham, Tim Duncan now. The list goes on and on. Panini obviously is the worldwide leader. It is the staple. It is the place to go for the cards, and fans definitely go there. And speaking of the fans, ever since the news came out, they've been, drooling, twiddling their fingers, rubbing their hands together. They want to know when these cards will drop. What information can you share with us regarding when fans can get a hand on some boxes?
Hey everybody, this is Nathan Ray Clark from Criminal Minds and Modern Family, and you are listening to Locked On Spurs, hosted by Victor Wembanyama's new best friend, Jeff Garcia.
Hey, the Locked On Ultimate NBA season preview is here. All 6 episode series with 30 of our Locked On NBA team shows. From contenders to tankers, we go in depth into the biggest storylines heading into the season. Catch all 6 episodes on Locked On NBA. On YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. Locked On Spurs. I represented the Spurs fan base. They got this team in the tanker section. Are they really tankers? Well, go check it out. Again, that is an ultimate Locked On Ultimate NBA season preview. I also want to talk to you about FanDuel. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. If you place a $5 bet, that's all there for you. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you've been thinking about FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action than right now. Spurs season starting, NFL season's underway, MLB playoffs are here. I mean, it's a hot time right now to be into sports. That's why you gotta get the FanDuel app immediately. Go to your cell phone right now, your mobile device, whatever you got. Get the FanDuel app right now. It's so easy to use. It's a wide range of betting options that includes the spreads, the player props, over and unders, and so much more. You want to visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. That's what I want to talk to you about. Mudslingers drive-through coffee. Look, you got to go to Mudslingers right now. What are you waiting for? Go to 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. If you're in San Antonio, this is the 281 and 1604 area. They have it all. They got dairy alternatives, a wide range of items to choose from. And it's not just coffee and drinks. They even got mini donuts. And speaking of those drinks, they got the signature Mudslinger, which I hear is very delicious. They got the Red Bull Infused Lightning Bolt series. Highly recommend that one. They got the OG. It's like a coffee alternative. If you want those old school Orange Julius vibes once again, they recreated that only at Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. They got the Sub-Zero. That's in honor of Frank Harris. They got the Alien. Take a wild guess who's that about. That's Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. Full can of Red Bull, kiwi, green apple, all mixed together. Very delicious. They even got mini donuts. What more do you want? Go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru right now. Friendly staff, over 300 5-star reviews, cannot be wrong. They are a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs, and they proudly serve the San Antonio community. Very friendly. You got to say, they're so active on social media. You're gonna fall in love with them. You can follow them on TikTok, Twitter, Threads, Facebook, Instagram at Mudslinger SATX. Life is too short for bland coffee.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, it was. We want to get them in our product as fast as possible, but we also want to do it the right way. And so, we really, to maximize, making sure that we have the right card designs and the signatures and all those other things. The first product that we'll be able to see him in, we'll release in February. It'll be our 2023-24 Crown Royale NBA basketball product. And then that's followed up shortly after that with Impeccable Basketball. And then you'll see this cadence where he is constantly in our products throughout. But those are the first 2 products out of the gate. We're going back and forth. How much advanced time do we want to do and share that we've got Tim back in our programs? Yeah. Compared to, when the product was going to release, but we felt like this was a great time to celebrate that as we're a week away from the start of the NBA season. Right. To just bring more energy and excitement. Everyone gets excited about the rookies, but when you have the ability to bring a guy back in who hasn't been in the category and trading cards or featured with autographs for, 20 years, you want to be able to shout that from the rooftops and celebrate it. And we just couldn't contain ourselves. I don't think any of us would have been able to, keep it quiet
Yeah, I bet.
As we get closer to the release. So we felt like this was the perfect time, perfect opportunity as the season's about to start, get people to start thinking about basketball and basketball trading cards and, the impact of, the rookies that are coming into the category. And then obviously the legends and how important they are.
Yeah.
Again, that legacy piece, I think, it's really interesting when you have an athlete like Tim, who just gets it and starts to understand that. Charles was the same way. We had the same conversation with Charles Barkley when we brought him back into the market. And, Kobe understood that better than anybody, even after his retirement, he was constantly, in our products because he knew that it was another way to kind of continue his legacy and, resonate with new fans that were coming into the game all over the world. So, kudos to Tim to, recognize that. And we're excited that he's a part of the family.
You talk about legacy. Yeah. Obviously, you're well aware. I think this whole sports world is well aware, the Victor Wembanyama era is about to begin in a couple of days on the regular season, that is. So his first steps to his, what hopefully be a great legacy is starting, but yet here's Tim Duncan, the foundation for that, still, being visible with fans. And look, fans in San Antonio will never forget Tim Duncan. That's a guarantee. They'll never, ever forget him. But now it's almost like they can celebrate two things in the franchise history: Wemby's beginnings and reminding, this is still the house that Tim Duncan built, and with the cards. So, and I think that's great. And I'm going to tell you, as somebody who follows the Spurs, covers the Spurs for a news outlet in San Antonio, interacting with fans, they never forget Tim Duncan, so now when the cards were announced, you saw social media, like holy bleep, wow, pictures of goats, the list goes on and on. I had one fan say, just when I was trying to get out, they pull me back in, so they're back in. So let me tell you this was a grand slam, a slam dunk, triple double, quadruple double, whatever you want, cliche you want to use with the fan base among Spurs fans. Once the final product was done and you had them all laid out for Tim, what was his reaction? Were you able to see that personally?
I'm sorry?
What once the final products of the cards were all done and you were presenting them to Tim Duncan, in this final form, what was his reaction?
Well, we haven't shared with him the versions just yet. We've just shared with him the designs, and
gotcha.
So he knows that those are coming. As we're into the process of printing and manufacturing that product. It wasn't fully there yet.
Okay.
To show him, hey, this is what we're thinking about. And yes, of course, Wemby obviously in San Antonio, but if you're gonna add someone else to the mix, I mean, and talk about just I hate to bring up some of the other teams here in Texas, especially Spurs fans, but you've got Amen Thompson and one of the Thompson twins in Houston. You've got Luka in Dallas, and just it feels like the teams in Texas finally have their anchors. So then to bring back a legend like Tim into the product, we've got Dirk for the Mavs, and he continues. He was another guy that was not really engaged in the category, and we brought him back probably about 10 years ago at this point. But to get Tim back in and really this was a perfect time to do it too. I think that balance between Wemby and then bringing in a legend like Tim really kind of celebrates San Antonio. And man, for, the people that are in the case breaking world, that are looking and excited to, open up product and the way that they do that, where, sometimes in the case breaking, you're assigned teams. If the Spurs weren't hot because of Wemby, they're going to be extra hot now because you're going to have Tim Duncan, in that product now as a Spur. So absolutely, not to get off too far off topic, and this being about Tim and his new cards and Panini, but what else does Panini offer Spurs fans? Obviously from the current roster, what other cards can fans go to when they're looking to build their collection at Panini? Yeah, absolutely. Our first season product comes out here in November, just shortly after the start of the season, with our NBA Hoops product. And that'll be, you'll be able to find that at hobby stores around the country or online or at Target and Walmart. at PaniniAmerica.net, our website, we'll have those places to have those cards. And then we also have an interesting product called Panini Instant, which kind of celebrates real-time performances. So when someone puts up a great game, they're not waiting 2 or 3 months for that first card to come out. They can go on to PaniniAmerica.net and pick out that Panini Instant card. So Wemby's first start, I'm sure there'll be an instant card for that. You'll be able to collect those cards in real time.
That is awesome. All right. The Spurs fans and, that are card collectors will probably, chase me down the streets of San Antonio if I don't ask. But anything you can share as far as future, any hints you can give us when it comes to cards?
Not really. I mean, again, we're just excited to be able to share the news with Spurs fans that we've got, well, not only Spurs fans, but just basketball fans all over the world, that Tim Duncan's back.
Oh, wow. I got chills when you said that. I did. I got chills when you said that. It just feels like, he's back. Sure, he's not putting on a uniform, but again, celebrating his legacy, celebrating his era, reminding the Spurs fan base that, before Wemby, there was a guy named Timmy. He held it down in San Antonio, and you can still own a piece of that history via Panini. Any social media outlets y'all have, platforms where fans can?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Panini America. There's always, it's a great opportunity to follow us, on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram, you'll see some of the previews of cards that are coming up across all of our products. But, you get a sense of what's coming down the pipeline with card images and athletes that we're working with. So,
right. I was hoping you would reveal to everybody that my card is coming out via Panini, but maybe 1 year, maybe in my dreams that'll happen. I know that it'll happen in my dream, and I'll make for you. I'll draw a picture of Tim Duncan in the Celtics jersey, #1 pick.
Oh God, you're killing me.
No, I give that business to my Boston friends and media too. They're like they go like, don't bring it up, what could have been, but nevertheless. He is Jason Howarth with Panini. He is the Senior Vice President of Marketing right here on Locked On Spurs. He may carve some time out for you guys to talk all things Tim Duncan's back. He's back, baby. Back in the trading card world, only at Panini. Jason, we thank you for taking time to join us here on Locked On Spurs.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.